Alright guys, I am finally doing the timing belt on my 2011 WRX hatch. Go ahead and close the garage and get the AC kicking. So I have the Gates timing belt kit with all the pulleys. So I'm going to refresh everything inside there with all new pulleys in. I even have a new gasket which is behind those papers. And I have the stretch belt kit so I can take off my AC belt without damaging it and then put it right back on. So yeah, I guess I'm going to get straight into putting this on. And I'm going to show you guys step by step what I'm doing. Alright, this is my first time doing a timing belt, so I want to document the time to see how long it takes me to do it. So it is 9:09 in the morning right now, and I'm just watching this guy's video on how to do it, so see how it goes. Disconnect the battery. Unplugged as well. I just fixed the lighting setup so it looks a lot better now when I'm working on my car. And I'm gonna try my best not to take this off, but I might have to. I wanted to reuse my AC belt, and this has a stretch belt on it, and so how I got it off was I got my 22 mil socket attached to the crank pulley, I guess, whatever. And then, so all I did was put my flathead under this part right here, and I just kept pushing it towards this way while cranking the pulley, and I was able to get the stretch belt off, and I can reuse it now. Alright, since I am by myself, I'm going to do this my way, which is put the car in 5th gear and get a 22 mil socket and put it on the crank pulley, and we're going to be loosening this off the car, the breaker bar, and there she goes. So this is my first time ever taking this off right now. There is the bolt right there. Awesome, it looks pretty good too. That's good condition, not rusty or anything. Yeah, when you're doing this, do not drop your pulley like I just did. But yeah, there she is. First cover is already coming off. Oh, trying to get it out might be a problem, but good thing that my skid plate is off, so I'm gonna just drop it down. So now you can see the actual timing belt and the pulleys right there, and the tensioner and all that other pulleys that I'm gonna be replacing are all over there, so I'm gonna start taking off the rest of it. Alright, there it is in all of its glory. The timing cover is now off. So now I'm at the final stages, which is, well, not really the final stages, putting it back together, the final stages, but you know, the beginning of the actual put together and take apart of the timing belt and all the pulleys. So it's kind of hard to see down there because obviously there's black radiator hose in my way. But I'm gonna go ahead and get started and show you what I'm doing. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put this back in because I need to rotate the engine to make sure everything lines up when I'm doing this. So our timing will be on point. I'm gonna start cranking the motor over to make these line up. So now you want to make sure the single notch right here matches with this single knot right there. Then down there, you'll see it's kind of marked green, but yeah, double notches both line up together. The notch down here, there's one on the crank pulley that lines up with the one up here. And over here, the same thing. That notch over there lines up with that notch up there. So yeah, and also if you get a mirror, you can see down here that these two double notches line up with this and that down there. And see how it's pointing to the side, that's what you want. So everything is lined up accordingly, so that's sick. So I went ahead and clamped the two pulleys together so it doesn't spin, so it stays in place. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my light in there. I'm gonna go ahead and take off the tensioner pulley first. So I'll be taking this pulley off first, and we'll see how it goes. Alright, first tensioner is off, and I'm putting it to the side. Alright, I just took this pulley out, and I did it from underneath the car, as it is the one that is not this, the tensioner. It's like right here, right down there. It's pretty easy to get off. I just got it off right here from going down below. And now there's been enough leeway that you can just take the old timing belt right on off, and that is what I'm doing. You might have to undo this little bracket that's kind of holding it in. I didn't have to do it, I just pulled it off. But when I install the new belt, I might have to take that off. Yeah, be careful not to move the cam. Make sure it stays lined up perfectly when you do this, because they can still rotate. And obviously you have this side locked down, so that shouldn't move at all. Well, there you have it. This is the old timing belt off of the car. It's pretty big, so I'm gonna go ahead and just dump this into the trash. I am now going to remove the 3 remaining pulleys. Alright, these are all the old pulleys I just took off, and I'm going to show you why I'm getting all new pulleys and all this. It's only 108,000 miles, 2011, but watch this. This is the old pulley right here, and when I spin it, look at that, it just spins freely. It never wants to stop. You might be like, oh, that's good. No, that is not a good thing. You do not want that. Here is the brand new one that just got. Look at that. Immediately stopped spinning after spinning for a second. Sorry about the background, it's all messy. So yeah, definitely do your timing belt at 100,000 miles and go ahead and do all the pulleys with it. My cam spun just a little bit backwards. I don't know how it spun, just like a hair. So I just took this piece off and put a 10mm hex in there. And I have it lined up now, and I have it like attached to that thing. So I guess it's putting enough weight down that it's staying lined up. So I'm gonna keep that like that for now while I install everything. So yeah, your kit should have came with thread lock. Just put a little bit of thread lock on every single bolt that for all the pulleys. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started on installing them all right now. Well, to make it easier, I went ahead and just installed that pulley down there, and then the tensioner pulley on top, not the bottom one, but the top one. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put the belt on. Make sure you wash your hands, because you don't want crap on your belt. And put this on the crank sprocket, and all the lines will line up with the lines that you have connecting. And then after you do that, that's when you're gonna put on this and this one, like that one first, and then this one. And then you put that one on. And then make sure everything's lined up again, double check everything, and that's when you can pull this pin. So we are super close to being done and putting everything back together, but yeah, pretty easy. Oh, I forgot to mention that this thing, if you loosen those bolts to make it easier, this thing is like a spacer. You put that in before you tighten down the bolts. And that's what I did with this one. This is the only one I had to take out, because the very first one, it made it easy for everything to line up. Just flatten this out down there and put it in there, and then retighten those 2 bolts. That makes everything a lot more easier. But I only did it on this one. I'm gonna go ahead and double check the crank one too. Yeah, I am so frustrated right now. This bottom pulley down there has to go in that hole that you see, and obviously the belt has to be pushed upwards, and the pulley goes under it, and you have to bolt it in, and it is not wanting to go in. It's been like an hour and a half now, and I found out my own trick to putting it in. So what I did was, it was like one of these, the bolt was in it, and what I did was I put it on there without the belt even touching it. I put it on there first, and then I pulled up on the belt super hard up and over this pulley. So that was my way of doing it. Other videos were saying to put the bolt in and push up on the pulley and then kind of like that, but then you can strip it really easy when you do that. So that's why I threaded this in first and then pulled the belt up and over this. It was really hard to do, honestly, but I'm not that strong and I was able to do it, so most of you guys will be able to do it. And then I went ahead, and after I did that, I made sure it was completely tight, and now I'm on to the last pulley, which this one this one's way easier. It's already loose right there. Just gotta put this one in really quick. Obviously not the old one. Gotta take this new one out and put it in. I just installed the last puller right there, or idler. Before you install the last one, I already did, but go back and recheck all of your markings all around. Like, get your mirror out, go down there and look at all of the markings and make sure that they're all good and lined up. And obviously make sure the middle one's lined up. And if everything's lined up good, that's when you install the last pulley / idler, and make sure everything's torqued down to spec. And then after all that, when you have your clamp over here or whatever, which I just have this in here, you should be able to take this out now and it shouldn't move at all, which obviously I just took this part off and it would have moved by now because this thing weighs a lot, and so that's what was holding it in place for me. Obviously if you have the clamps, I just take the clamps off, and look at that, it didn't move, it's out. And look at that, perfectly on time. See how the little notch line up with the yellow line, line up with this notch right here. Perfect. And that's how all of them should look like, including the double notches, the green, which I think somebody else did that. I don't know, it shouldn't be green like that, but the notches on there are lined up. The green really isn't because whoever did it messed it up. But yeah, so my notches are all good and I am good to go. And don't forget to put this cover back on if you took it off, as the thing spun on you a little bit. But I think I'm ready to release the pulley. I mean, not the pulley, release the pin right here. Alright, I triple checked everything and everything is literally dead on, which is awesome. So let's go ahead and pull this pin. Alright, the pin is pulled. So now we are good to go to put everything back together. And this is all trash now. All these old pulleys are all trash. Well, I just jinxed myself because I was thinking, oh, this is so easy. I didn't have to take this off or take the radiator off or anything, or the fans or nothing. I took nothing off besides this little air intake piece and this little black box. Like literally, this is what I took apart to do the timing belt. Obviously, this is part of the timing belt, the cover, which I'm putting back on right now. And of course, I jinxed myself because there's a bolt that goes in the top left part of the timing cover, and guess what? It fell behind like here. It's like back here somewhere, and obviously there's so many wires. I cannot get back there, dude. I am so upset. I was so close to putting it in. Next thing you know, it slips upwards, like up and over the timing cover and up into this area. So that's not cool at all. The only way I can feel it if I put my finger like back here. Oh, now I can't even feel it anymore because I'm trying to pull it closer to me, and obviously it rolled further back. So yeah, my finger can't even touch it. So now I am missing that one timing bolt cover, which is just amazing. All right, the timing cover is all back on, well, besides that one bolt. But you know, I was buy a new one at Subaru and just install that one bolt. And I guess I'm just gonna have a missing bolt back there for, I don't know, until I do a water pump on this car. I don't know. I mean, steering rack pump. It's all put back together, and that's the main thing I am worried about when starting this is the AC belt. When I was putting it on, it was so weird. Like it's so close to the drive belt that's what I'm worried about. I'm not worried about the timing belt job I did, but I'm mainly worried about those two belts. I might have to replace the AC belt just because it's not really riding properly on the pulleys. So I'm gonna start it up, and if I hear any weird noises, it's most likely that belt. Well, she is now going, so that was actually not that bad at all to do. It's now 4 o'clock though, so it took me a long time, but I did go to Harbor Freight and buy some tools to help me with the job, you know. So, oh, and over there, you know. But yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed the video. That's how you do a timing belt without taking out the radiator or even undoing any radiator hoses at all. The hardest part about this, with having the hose on, was doing the bottom left pulley. That was the hardest one. Remember I said I spent like an hour and a half on that alone? An hour and a half on that one pulley, because this did make it pretty difficult. But then once I found out that you just put it on there and then just kind of stretch the belt over and on it, it's pretty hard to pull up over on it. But once I figured out how to do that, I was like, wow, I could have did this in minutes, you know. But well, that's a quick tip. So if you do it my way without taking out the radiator, fans, or anything, then that's how you do it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and peace.